Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to American Truck Simulator. And this is going to be a bit of a unique video actually, because this has real life significance. See, as some of you probably know, I do not drive in real life. I've never thought I'd be good at it. I've never really had particular reason to. But in America, not driving pretty much means that you lack a fair bit of freedom, and that really sucks. So more recently, I've decided, you know what, maybe this is something I'm going to pursue, but the problem is, I'm still really nervous about it. And I think a big part of the reason why I've never pursued this is because when I say I've never driven, that's not entirely accurate. 10 years ago, I drove my uncle's Kia Soul around a parking lot, and while he said I did alright, I was very aware of how not in control I was. And so what I've done in order to kind of help build confidence and help build just the hand-eye coordination of it is for the first time I've gone out and bought myself a steering wheel for the PC setup. And I've got the pedals below, and we are going to try and just go for a ride and see how this feels. And if nothing else, it'll at least be funny watching me flail around a little bit. I have not tried this at all. That 10 years ago is the only experience with anything like this I have. The only thing I've done is driven around a little bit in this lot in order to get the controls all set up. But let's take one small press on the gas. One giant leap for mankind. Here we go. 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. I think that might be a little bit much for me right here. Okay, turning the wheel. Now, this is I forget if it's a Logitech G29 or a G920, but either way, it is gear-driven instead of belt, so it may be a little bit on the loud side, but I got a pretty good deal on it. And right away, I gotta say, I actually sort of like how this feels. I mean, it's certainly smoother and more natural than using the keyboard. Let's see if we can pull into one of these spaces beside us. This is probably agonizing for you to watch, and like I said, you can probably hear this thing quite audibly. Alright, let's pull in and brake. I just realized I don't have a way to put it in reverse. That used to just be the S key. Oh, we reverse when I hit the brakes. That's odd. Is that how it's supposed to work? Well, anyway, let's see. I can reverse and turn like that. This feels really, really weird. Takes a lot of input, but then again, we're only moving 2 miles an hour. Getting confident at speed, that's the difficult thing. Getting confident that I'll be able to brake when I need to. But, okay, I'd say I'm pretty much ready for the open road at this stage. So why don't we start looking for a job? I mean, we'll have to drive there either way. So let's have a look at the freight market. Something not too long, not another 2,000-mile journey like you guys have already seen. And I guess good luck, whoever's load we're going to be transporting. Space container. Okay, they're trusting us with this. Well, look, it's a very small job, right? It's within the state. So probably okay? Okay, let's get to the end of this lot. See, the difficult thing for me is shifting my feet between the pedals, or rather shifting my foot between the pedals. But I'd say so far so good. The other difficult thing that wouldn't exist in real life is that I also have to coordinate when I have to use the mouse to look around, but for the most part we can probably just stay looking through the front windshield. Now, ideally we would use something like Track IR for this, something so that we don't have to put our mouse or put our hand off of the steering wheel. But this ain't a perfect situation here. Oh god, yeah, see, I'm braking too much. Yep, don't worry, NASA, I'm coming. Now we can view the job offer. And grab this one right here. So the difficult thing now is we're going to have to reverse and get this thing hitched up. So there it is right there, just in amid all of these other regular trailers, which is kind of odd. I mean, you really wouldn't think NASA would be relying on this for their supply chain, right? Hand over hand, stop. Very nearly hit that thing. I do like how, you know, you're able to let go and the steering wheel just kind of goes back into position. And that's why I didn't want to spend like too little on this thing, because, you know, at a certain point, you're basically just getting a toy with no resistance. Okay, so if I'm looking back that way, steering wheel needs to go in this direction. Good, good. So, intuition correct there. And let's just slowly bring you back. This is way more caution than I would normally use. There we go. The real tough part is using the gas to apply the brakes here. Like I said, I don't know if that's how it works in real life. But there we go. We are coupled up. And let's put it in drive. And move forward. I don't have the shifter add-on. So that's one little piece of inaccuracy also. So alright, here we are, moving out of the lot. You know what's worst about this? It's not just getting used to the controls or how this is supposed to feel. It's the fact that we're actually transporting a load now, and granted, it's a small load, but, you know, we've got a lot more behind us that we need to think about. We can see it in the side view, so we can get an idea for how it behaves. And our first challenge is really going to be getting through the security gates at the end of this driveway. This is such a pretty game, though. I literally got it just for this game. Like, I have no real interest in racing games, but I think ATS is a lot of fun. Because it's just you on the open road. I mean, those of you who have seen my other videos on it and on the long drive know what I'm talking about. Just zoning out and watching it pass in front of you. It's basically a safe way to get that sort of road hypnosis. But we should be able to just advance right up to here. It feels so weird playing this so cautiously. And even a little bit of brake. Like, when you get towards the last few miles an hour, it really drops quick. That's what I need to get used to. Alright, security check. I should probably bind something up to the parking brake as well, huh? And straight forward we go. Nervous, we're about to start our journey. Come to a complete stop at the stop sign. Should have been signaling earlier. And there we go. Awesome. Yeah, I've got to say, that is definitely more satisfying. But we've also got to contend with the fact that even, like, completely pressing down on the gas, we're going uphill in a truck with a load, so we're not really going to have the same acceleration. And that's why I'm not doing this to get a feel for how driving feels. As far as, like, the handling, it's only as far as acclimating to how a vehicle is driven. All right, there we go. I mean, basically, it's also because I want to make a note of how things feel as I go and what difficulties will arise, and it seems like if I'm having one big problem right now, it's not really having a good idea of my speed while I'm executing some kind of maneuver. Alright, that's definitely... I might have just knocked down the sign with the load right there. Sorry. But now we need to start building up speed. And of course, this being a truck, that's only going to happen so quickly. Basically, the point is to do this until it becomes second nature. The point is to reach a stage where it just feels natural. I'm not consciously trying to do any of it. But here we are on the road. I think the thing that's really going to throw me when I actually do it is just the momentum of it, being able to feel like, oh, I am really in control of something that is transporting my actual body. But anyways, we are now up to 65 miles an hour. Let's put on the cruise control. So this is nice. Yeah, and we're able to, like, very finely tune our turn. Makes it a lot easier to stay in the lanes than with a keyboard and mouse. Look at that! We've got the road stretching out in front of us. We're moving at a decent pace. This is pretty cool. 187 miles to go, though. But you know what? In this game, that's really not a whole lot. I mean, I've always liked the driving part of it more than the business aspect of it, though they're both cool. And so it's a lot of fun to just pick the longest jobs you can possibly get. I always do the long distance upgrades first. I was not paying attention to where I needed to go. How far off is that going to put me? Potentially not... Oh, wow, no. Actually, very, very far. But you know what we can do? Now, this is a trick they won't teach you in driving school. See? Now, this is what you get when you use your noodle. Literally, I have a noodle instead of a brain. Doctors are baffled. Okay, that we kind of took a little too far. Let's go like that. Level it out, level it out, level it out. There we go. I mean, really, we can go a lot faster than this in reverse, right? I mean, all the engineering of American logistics, we can't go faster than this? Maybe I could pull a Yui. Actually, that might very well be possible if we do this right. Sun's coming up. Hi, Dallas, I love you. Don't worry, you'll be rid of me soon. What are you looking at? This guy doesn't know what to do. He just wants to be clear of this. You know what? At a certain point, this just is not enough space to turn the trailer around. And so we kind of just have to do this. Well, look, you know what they say? Even a good driver sometimes misses their exit. But a bad driver never misses their exit. And so since I did miss this exit, I must be at least a pretty decent driver, right? Okay, well, this got extended by a little bit, but that's okay. How is... Look, that was the wrong button. That was the wrong button. Load, still okay. So, really nothing to worry about at this stage. Probably going to want to keep right here. I'm also probably going to want to learn how to basically keep on the gas so that we maintain our speed. Should be able to do it manually without relying on the cruise control, right? You know, this actually isn't too bad of a detour. We're getting to see Dallas. I mean, this interchange is actually really, really cool looking. And hey, 200 miles is not that far. I wish I remembered what I bound the lights to. There we go. And cruise control. Hey, look, we just made $3,000 from driver Marianne G. See, even if you're a total failure at the industry you've decided to take up in, you can still make tons of money. We should probably start slowing down here, though. Wow, see, I really need to work on that braking, because it always responds way more than I think it will. Could be partly due to our weight. But let's get out of here. Yep, my signal matters a whole lot now. Whoa! Alright, you have to look. I always forget that there's other drivers in the road in this game because I've modded it so that traffic is less. We can make it up here. Switch our turn signal. And there we go. I am a genuine menace. And accelerate. See? Perfect. Oh, wow. Okay, that's not my fault. The speed limit is doing crazy things right here. Denison Greenville. Oh, there's a cop. Everybody play it cool. Act like I don't have the Rugrats Lost episode in the back seat. We're accelerating. Oh wow, those are some dramatic skies. And look at it, it seems like some storms might be a-brewing. That would be pretty interesting if it started raining. I don't think it rained at all during the last video I did. Maybe I have it set to not do that? I'll have to check the settings. I don't think you even have to mod it to get rid of rain. I think you can, like I said, just set it. Oops. But yeah, look at this. Open land, the rivers below. This, I imagine, is what, like, Louisiana and Florida are gonna be like, right? I really hope they let us, like, explore those states. And given their track record, I'm sure they will. I don't know, I mean, I've just been on, like, a couple of road trips recently, you know, seen parts of the country that I hadn't seen, and that's what really appeals to me about this game, is that it's the American road trip experience from the perspective of making it your business. Okay, we're definitely gonna want to slow down a bit, because those guys are not moving very fast. We could also actually definitely stand for some gas. I mean, it looks like we'll probably make it on this tank, but once we get there, we'll definitely need to do something about that. Look, you can see the birds flying over. Like, they could very easily have made this a repeating road and jobs that generate infinitely and really not put all that much effort to it. Just a little bit of different variation per state, but that's not what they've done here. They've gone for the little aspects of the experience. I mean, pretty much the only thing they can't simulate is the little bucket of pretzels in the center console. as somebody who really enjoys travel, like, there's so many things I see in this where I'm like, wow, they thought about that. This is made by people who genuinely love the same thing as well. It's seeing the city lights in the distance. It's seeing the fast food signs and thinking, you know, I could get off and go for some of that. I mean, I got to go on a trip last week, and they had Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel! That might not mean much to you, but to me, it's everything, because they don't have that on Long Island. Just go in, pay not a whole lot for a whole lot of really nice breakfast food. They've even got a gift shop. What kind of breakfast place do you know has a gift shop? Cracker Barrel, that's what. That's another cool aspect of road trips, is getting to see all those chains that don't exist in your area. I mean, just recently I was in the Midwest and got to experience the joy of Casey's and Come and Go. And in other times I've gotten to go to Wawa, and we don't have that stuff. Hello, what is that on the side of the road there? Ah, just a shredded bit of tire. Another aspect of the experience that they've accurately modeled. We are getting pretty slow. I'm overcorrecting because one thing I'm nervous about is just like having my foot on the gas and not realizing it. But in a truck, it's... I mean, you'll know when you're going too fast. I mean, is this actually like an interstate right now? I'm not sure what I'm on. But it definitely doesn't feel like it. It feels more like a back road. But no, I'm pretty sure where we are right now is just up in northeastern Texas. Still got 70 miles to go, and that's really nothing. I really, really love steering on the open road. That's what I'm discovering here. Just that gradual little turn. Okay, we are probably gonna have to slow down up ahead, yes. There we are. Be ready to slow for these guys as well, because the speed limit is coming down once more. And yellow light. Okay, we're easing into this. So now I get to experience it, sitting at a red light with my hands on the wheel, just kind of tapping my fingers. I don't know why that brings me so much joy. Let's have a look around. Oop. Of course, it's when I look around that you guys start moving again. I've heard that they plan to add commercial buses to the game. Like, you can actually drive them for fares and stuff. Who knows when that'll actually happen, but it'll be really cool. I've even heard that they plan on adding regular personal cars. Passing through these small towns, like, it's moments like this I always love going to, like, a local place to get lunch. It's always those little diners that have so much character, you know? However, I do also make sure to not be one of those guys who walks in and looks around and goes, wow, this place just has so much character, you know? Like that friggin' guy who everyone there probably hates. I am that guy, I just don't vocalize it so nobody knows I'm that guy. It's kind of like The Thing. Except I eat their food at very reasonable prices instead of them. Except for that one time. I'm sorry, I'm lost in thought. Turn signal, turn schmignal. Okay, we're getting onto the highway. Let's actually give some thought to our turn signal now. Nobody coming from that direction that I can see. Yeah, when looking is the mouse, that definitely complicates things a little bit. Technically, I could keep my right hand on the mouse. I mean, because I do have the turn signals bound up to mouse buttons. But we want to do this the right way. I really wish this wheel... I know it's made as like a racing wheel, but I really wish it had like an actual switch for the turn signal, instead of having to improvise with the buttons. Oops. Ridge is waking us up. We're making a turn with some speed behind us. I'm not used to that. There we are. Wow, we're actually almost here already. I'll probably end up taking another job because this is too much fun. Oh, gotta watch out for that. Invisible walls kill hundreds of drivers a year and maim countless others. Okay, are we making this left turn, or no, we're making the next one. And we are starting to get a little bit sleepy here. Anybody coming in behind us? No? Alright. Nobody tell NASA what we did before, and they will not be let down. Look at me, being the only person in history to actually turn into my lane. Anybody back that way? No. Anybody up this way? No. Yellow means go. Those are the twisted remains of the last guy who tried to deliver around here. Actually, they could very easily be the twisted remains of the accident we came upon in the other truck sim video. Alright, of course in the home stretch we're hitting every light, but I guess that's just a byproduct of being in a small town. Dude, I love this game so much. It's come such a long way, too, because I got it back when it first came out, and even in the little things, like the lighting, it's such a subtle difference, but it makes a huge difference. Like, how is it that from a glance I can tell, like, I'm in a small rural community and it's midday? It's got that exact lighting. And it's like that for, like, every specific niche situation, and I will always appreciate it for that. Because it nails those associations. It makes you feel things that aren't even necessarily in the game because of the associations that it draws. Let's slow this way down here. And make this turn. Come on. I know I'm slow. I know a state trooper is watching me do this. Okay, good. That's just a loan installment. That's not the trooper ticketing me, which can happen in this game. And those flags, I think, represent our destination. I almost can't help but come to a full stop here. I do not have the confidence to continue into the turn like that. And I also gotta practice with that hand-over-hand turning. But I think the issue that I have here is just because I need to turn the mouse to see. But it looks like our first job has gone off without a hitch. In this case, because I'm taking it slow, I am not gonna try and... We could try to go for that. How are you lined up? Good. Careful going over that speed bump. Where are we heading right now? Right up here. Okay. Wow, we are really sleepy now. Ease off the gas. Straighten out immediately so that the trailer can straighten out. We're probably going to have to do some backing up because that was pretty close. Yeah, okay. So let's go forward just a little bit. Wait for this thing to flatten. And now, let's back up. See, normally, even in the base game, I would do this straight and in third-person view. But I don't think we need to here. I think we've got this. As long as we take it slow, move you a little more in the direction we want to go. That's close enough. There we go. It ain't much, but it's honest work. I am unreasonably proud of that outcome. There we go. And I don't believe there was any damage to the load whatsoever, in spite of our shenanigans. Dude, this was really, really cool. And the thing is, like, it's kind of trial by fire because obviously a regular car is going to be much easier to drive than a truck with a load. Alright, so what are we doing here? Well, first off, we desperately need to sleep and gas up. So let's spin this sucker around and get on out of here. I'm navigating to a gas station, which also doubles as a rest stop. And head out this way, which is annoyingly offset from us. Right over the speed bump. There we go. Yeah, this feels like the kind of thing that would massively benefit from Track IR. Or you know what? We could also... I mean, this thing has, like, a D-pad on it. It would probably help to bind that to just looking left and right. Because you don't need, like, the fancy all-around movement. As long as I can see out the windows, as long as I can turn my head around, that's enough, right? That's the thing about simulators, is half the game is just setting up the controls. I mean, it's nothing compared to what I have to do to play DCS. Glancing up at the sky while I drive and letting my mind wander, can't help but ask for a bird module for DCS. Look at that, there's even a guy pushing a lawnmower. Imagine that. Imagine you know someone who's a game developer and you ask them, hey, what did you work on today? Oh, I made an animation of a guy pushing a lawnmower. Oh, is it for, like, GTA or some kind of open world game? Well, not quite, sort of. It's for American Truck Simulator. Is there a lawn mowing DLC? Nope. And that's the thing that's kind of cool, and maybe annoying, I don't know, about being an artist for this game, is that you have to make assets for so many seemingly unrelated things. Because it's all about travel. You have to make as many things as there are things in America. There we go. I'm getting the hang of that as well. Plus, we're unburdened by a trailer now, so that's also a little bit easier. Don't need you anymore. You should be turning green any second. There we go. Slam the gas. They actually do let us go 50 miles an hour down this main stretch of road. But, it's not really what we need. Especially when there's another red light right up ahead. We are literally hitting each and every one. I think you can also change the duration and frequency of red lights in the options. Like, it really lets you do a lot. But, okay, we've gotten used to the controls. I've kind of got the hang of it. It's actually more tiring than I thought it would be. But maybe once we take another job, we'll start looking into, like, actual commentary again. Just stream of consciousness. Because that's what you guys really watch this for. Tell you what you guys don't watch this for is to sit at a red light like you do every day in real life. We don't need entertainment for this. God, what has digital media done to us? We pay real money to either sit at a red light in a video game or to watch somebody else sit at a red light in a video game. I wasn't supposed to come all this way forward, but you know what? I stopped before the light, and that's what matters. Thank you, light. I owe you my life. Okay, which one of these are we allowed to turn into? The next one. Gas should be back here. There we go. Okay, now, engine off, start filling her up. Unfortunately, this isn't part of the simulation. I don't have to get out and use the pumps and all that. Wait, do I see? Is it not letting me fill up more? Okay, there we go. And onward. You know what, let's do this the not lazy way. Let's do this in a way where future me will thank me. Let's turn away from there and back into the spot properly. By the way, I hope nobody's crossing to the right of me, because I cannot see them whatsoever. But yeah, definitely 100 times easier when you don't have to worry about a load. Dude, you're seriously gonna let me stop the engine and just sleep right there? That's very irresponsible. Alright. Let's get some shut-eye. Oh yeah, time for some more night driving. And from here... Well, first of all, let's appreciate this gas station ambiance at night. This is so cool. This reminds me of a story. I'm gonna have to tell it once we get on the road again. 1 second, though. First, we need to figure out what job we're doing. So here we are in Texarkana. Unfortunately, these states that don't display little dots for cities are states that I do not own yet. It's best to wait for them to release in bulk so you save a lot of money. How far are you? That's another within the state job. And you are very much not within the state. You can take us all the way to Oregon. Unfortunately, I don't have time for that right now. Something a little in the middle? This one will take us across all of North Texas and into New Mexico. Yeah, we can probably do that. What are we transporting? Clamshell buckets. Yeah, the lift truck is definitely a better job, but it's just a more difficult one. It's a huge load, and this one is a little bit more scenic. So, let's take it. We just have to figure out where we're going. Oof, it's bright. GPS is telling me to do one thing, but I can probably make a right turn up ahead. Oh, you actually want me to circle right across over this way. Okay, that saves us plenty of time. I don't know, I hope it's still enjoyable to watch. This is such a pretty looking game, and watching it all roll by is a lot of fun. I am gonna get into the hopefully groove a little bit more in a second, though. Once we actually hit the road. I've got to remember that I can just release the wheel and it'll go back to its neutral position. And as long as we're okay with the path it takes to get there, we should be alright. Alright, work on that sharp turn confidence. The Taylor Yard is our destination. There we go. Okay, so what we need is the clamshell buckets. Right over here. I feel like this is a Bob the Builder episode or something. Although, I must say, it's kind of weird that we're taking these buckets and bring them out of here. You know what? A construction company probably has like a yard where they keep these things, and when the job is done, somebody just has to go grab them. I imagine it would probably, you know, save a lot on their bottom line if they didn't spend like tens of thousands of dollars to hire a private trucking company to do it. But you know what? The world of ATS is one where the American dream is alive and well. Everybody's got lots of disposable income, and anybody can make money doing anything. Even mowing that guy's lawn. That dude we saw mowing the lawn earlier? Multi-billionaire. He's mowed like 10 lawns. The part when you're close and you can't really see it is always the most nerve-wracking. There we go. You're hitched up. Yep, that looked natural. And we're good to go. Pretty sure I put you in drive, thank you. Now this trailer, I'm not sure how it compares in weight, but it looks a little bit longer potentially, so we'll have to consider that. Look at this guy. I feel like a work crew on homes would have gone home by now. Like, the only time I ever really see construction crews working late is on the highway, when I guess they expect less traffic. Working those road crews is actually, like, it's legitimately incredibly dangerous. Mainly because people don't pay attention, they don't listen. I mean, they'll give a license to just about anybody. They're maniacs on the road. They'll even give a CDL to anyone. Okay. Let's do a stop. Once again, I'm always amazed at how quickly I can brake. Doesn't look like there's anybody up ahead. Helps to lead the mouse in the position we need right before we start. And let's get off onto the highway. You know, this is something that I have a newfound appreciation for, I think, is the moment when you're done having to execute all these little maneuvers on the back roads and you enter onto the highway for the first time. It feels like a weight is getting lifted. It feels like, I don't know, I'm kind of free again. Okay, so the story that I wanted to tell. So, anybody here familiar with the gas station chain Buc-ee's? Now, for those who don't know, Buc-ee's is not an ordinary gas station chain. It's not like you just pull into one of the little ones like we did before and fill up. Buc-ee's is not just a gas station, it is an experience. And I had never heard of Buc-ee's until a couple of years ago. I was on a road trip down to Florida to work on a stage show, and on the way back, we were looking for someplace to gas up, and so we put in the GPS for just a gas station, and this was what came up. We get over there, and it's like 1 in the morning, and we saw it long before we actually arrived, because it wasn't just a little light on the horizon, it was a massive glow, like a bright white LED sun in the middle of a black landscape. We get closer and closer, and we're like, we can't believe we're still driving, and this thing, we haven't arrived at it yet. So we can tell this thing is huge. And granted, it's like 1, almost 2 in the morning. We have not really seen a whole lot of people in this area because we're kind of off in the middle of nowhere now. And this thing, we arrive, it is teeming with people. Like hundreds and hundreds of cars. And no wonder there's hundreds and hundreds of cars because there's a massive, like superstore-sized building with literally just hundreds of pumps under endless canopies. It was wild. Like when you feel like the world has completely gone to sleep for the night and you come upon where they all are, it's a surreal feeling. And we walk into the store, you know, we gas up, but of course now we got to get the experience of what even is this thing. And there's just like racks of shelves, tons of people in there, and it just feels like you're at the grocery store in the middle of the day. They have so many things. They even have their own brand of like beef jerky. It was pretty good. I got a bag. It was the peppered flavor, in case you're wondering. And then, you know, once all was said and done, when we had our snacks, when we had our gas, we got in our car, we drove off, and suddenly it was dark and drowsy again. Like it didn't even happen. It's like a ghost story of a phantom hitchhiker, you know? You take somebody off the road in the pouring rain and you look behind you when you get to your destination and all that's left is their dripping wet coat in the back seat. In this case, the dripping wet coat was some really good beef jerky. I've kind of lost the metaphor, but I hope you understand what I mean. Oh look, there's 666 miles left. And now there's 665, the neighbor of the beast. Wow, I really signed us up for an 11.5-hour drive, huh? That is insane. Oh, here we are now. Oh, I love stuff like this. I love it when we reach the point where there are no more streetlights, when it's only our headlights illuminating the way forward. Especially in a place as flat and as rural as this. Was there somebody standing by that car? I couldn't tell. It passed by so fast. I was paying attention to the road. That's kind of creepy. Like, if they were just in their driveway outside their house, that would be one thing, but I don't know if there was a house there. Just out in the wilderness of northern Texas. I hear there was a chainsaw massacre around these parts back in the day. Although I think it was a trucker who kind of ended that situation in the end, if I remember rightly. Truckers are the real heroes, is what I think I'm trying to say. Look at that, just every so often we see headlights. Did he just flash his brights at me? Huh. Wait, here's the thing, am I not supposed to have my brights on all the time? 'Cause that's kind of the only way I can see right now. I was just thinking, like, are the NPCs actually that smart that they can, like, let you know, like, hey, you're blinding people? Oops, were you gonna... I wasn't sure if you were fixing to make a turn there. Need to slow down. All I need to do is tap the brakes in a moment like this, and that kind of does all it needs to. It also cancels out cruise control. So that's something to also consider. Oh, somebody's coming up on my left? No, you don't. Why am I being that petty? Why am I so angry at the thought of another car passing me on the left? I do not need to do that. Oh, it's a truck, too. Are you angry at my granny ways? Well, look, I'm getting back up to speed. That's the horn on this thing? I thought it would be like a big, scary, blaring truck horn. I wonder if it's possible to install like a train horn on one of those things. Those really have punch. Those let you know that you are in a place you shouldn't be. Oh, this is cool. Like, my foot's not even on the gas right now. Oh, by the way, I'm turning left because the road merges. Little industrial warehouse, just dark in the night. That's always really weird, is when there's not even lights in, like, an active industrial building. I don't know, I guess maybe it's just an around here thing, but I'm so used to everywhere having at least some lights on all night. That's something I've learned from, like, driving horror games, is just how jarring it is coming upon a building that doesn't have its own lights at all. It's one of those things that, like, you could swear you see all the time, and then when you do, you realize, no, I don't. Look at that, the moon is framed up perfectly in front of us. It's actually got kind of a glow in the sky around it. We're still moving exceptionally fast, and that guy's probably behind us, pissed. But whatever, the left lane's just opened up, and we should all be good. It would be kind of grim, but imagine if this game added, like, animals and stuff. Like a coyote could just run out in front of us, or a deer. I mean, it's kind of against the relaxing nature of the game, but I don't know. I just can't help but think about it while I'm on this road. And I know there are deer crossing signs in this. The moon is fast approaching the horizon. I actually find myself kind of dreading the moment when it's gone. I'm not really sure why. I mean, it's not like it really illuminates much, but I just like having it there. It's like a free little hood ornament that nobody can charge me for. Fortunately, it doesn't even have to go below the horizon if I just turn away from it ever so slightly. The silence of this, man. I mean, granted, it's for recording purposes that I've turned a lot of the engine noises down, so that I don't have to do a lot of EQ so you can hear my voice, but I don't know. I'm actually not sure. Is it better when you're alone to be able to hear the engine or not? Like, after a while, it might kind of almost lull you to sleep, right? I mean, this is the kind of time when a partner really helps. Road trips are always better with a person just in general, but, I mean, it becomes a safety issue after a while. Somebody has to check your snooziness. I don't know what's happening to my vocabulary right now. Something about this robed hypnosis is making me more adorable. Then again, truckers are notoriously kawaii. I wonder, are truckers, like commercial truckers, allowed to bring along like a plus one? I mean, you would think it wouldn't make all that much difference, considering, you know, you're still transporting the load. It's just a person there to keep you awake. Might even be a good thing for, like, improving safety ratings. But then again, there's probably also a ton of liability issues, because you are technically in like an industrial environment, accompanying you to work. Oh god. I have my foot on the wrong pedal. We just blew by that cop going slightly over the speed limit. And now we're just right, so maybe he thought I was just being... I don't know. I always blank on this word. The word for when you're doing something before you need to. This is gonna piss me off so much now. Pre-something? God, why can't I think of this word? It's so simple. Hello, traffic buddies? What are you doing out here in your convertible at 3 in the morning? See, these hay bales are an urgent delivery. You've got no excuse. Unless, of course, you're transporting something too. I really hope we all keep our speeds consistent, because you are gonna get accordioned. Preemptively. The word was preemptively. Thank you, late night Coke runner. You've helped me a lot. Really, Coke smugglers are like the schoolhouse rock of the road. What am I even talking about? We still got 520 miles to go. I can't believe this 700-mile job felt like nothing now, just because I'm so used to taking like the 1,000+ ones. Last time we did a 2,000+ one. I think that came out to like 2,083 miles. It was like a 3-hour video. Curse you! I should have known your type would betray me in the end. There's no honor among thieves. Actually, I'm pretty sure both of these jobs are still going to add up to like under 1,000. Or like close to 1,000, so it's still like half the length. I've only been recording for like an hour. Feels like so much longer. Could have driven a whole lot of length in that time in real life. It's also really weird what happens to your sense of like scale for driving when you're on road trips. Because around here it's like, something's like 40 minutes away. That's kind of far. Meanwhile, out there it's like, oh, this thing's only like 2 hours out of the way. Or only like 200 miles out of the way. We could potentially swing that. Yeah, then again, when I guess you're on a road trip, you've got more time to kill. And we're once more out onto the starry night. These country roads with the power lines off to the side, this is what I crave. You can see the drainage ditches over there. And that's why I really think this game needs to add cryptids. I mean, I'm pretty sure there might already be... What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What was that about? Hang on. What even is the key for this? It looks like we're okay. What just happened there? That was so weird. Was that just a weird, like, interaction with the road ridges? I've never felt it happen like that before. Usually it just makes a noise. I mean, I should check. Is my trailer still back there? It looks like it is. Okay. I guess we'll just take it on faith that when it says everything's fine, it is. You want us to slow down? You want us to slow way down? We have hit, like, every single light. You know, my cousin, who's been in a couple of videos before, he is, like, an addict of this game. You know, he's done it in real life. He has literally thousands of hours in this game. And I thought it was really funny the other day when he was telling me about how much I need to try Cyberpunk 2077, and he was actually complaining about the fact that every red light in the game turns green when you approach it. Okay, new speed limit 35. By the time I reach that, it'll be 45. So, you know, I guess that's one benefit to being big and heavy. We can just floor it all the way out of town and nobody even knows. Ain't I a stinker? What is this off to the side of the road? Is that just going to be like a dirt area where we can stop and rest? Yeah, it looks like it maybe is. I was actually just thinking, like, imagine if this game actually had just, like, kindly little old ladies who would invite you into their home. Oh, but what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, cryptids. There's already UFOs in the game, I think. So I think it would be really cool if, like, every once in a while you would just see, like, a pair of glowing eyes staring at you from the edge of the woods, especially in, like, the Pacific Northwest gates. Something crossing the road. I guess it would be hard to set it up so that, like, it accounts for your speed, so you can't actually hit them. Because at that point, you could just retire. You wouldn't even need to own a logistics company anymore. Do you think every trucker, like, dreams of the day they run over a Bigfoot or, like, a skunk ape? I mean, that's gotta be like winning the trucker lottery. I've also known many truckers, and I've known them to also play the lottery a lot. Sometimes while they're driving. If you play the lottery and you're trying to mow down Bigfoot, that's just stacking your odds. It's important to diversify your income, and I think that's what that means. Oh god, now that I've got the wheel, I've got to try playing this game sleep-deprived. That'd be fun. I don't drink, but I bet people also make, like, drunk driving videos on this. Okay, heading towards Wichita Falls. We are back on the road again. That's what I like to see. As much as I like manually doing the gas, we should probably give my poor leg a rest. Put on the cruise control, because we're probably going to be out here for a while. Or at least I would hope. We've actually been going through a lot of small towns up here. Oh, we need to lose some speed. Yep, all these interchanges. Am I going off here? Nope. Ah, I took the wrong one. It took too long to interpret what I was seeing down there. When the spaghetti starts spaghettiing, things get a little tough. Alright, that's okay. We don't have to go too far out of our way, thankfully. I definitely feel myself getting better on these brakes. And I don't know if that should concern me, because of course a real car isn't going to respond this way. It's the muscle memory that I need to get used to, not the feeling of the weight. But I will say, at the very least, if nothing else, even if none of this knowledge ends up being useful, it's still definitely a much better way to enjoy this game, I think. I mean, it's like playing an aircraft sim without a joystick or a HOTAS. You can do it with a keyboard, you can do it with a gamepad, but it just isn't the same. You're just losing half the experience, even if you can do most of the same stuff. This time we don't really have a choice but to go the right way, which is just how I like it. We're already halfway towards needing to sleep. You know what? That's alright. I would just like... I mean, look, it's 5 a.m. We can already see that tinge of the... Ooh. Look at that. That is so pretty. Coming up over what I suppose can be called a hill and just seeing the lights of the town all stretching out. It distracted me from the fact that it will in fact be sunrise soon. Alright, we're gonna be making a left up here. I guess we could have stayed in that lane, but it doesn't really matter now. That's the thing, is when you're the only one out here, this is the kind of practice you're never gonna get in real life. I suppose at certain times and places you might be surprised. Going downhill, so I probably don't need to put too much on the gas. Alright, let's get back over to the right lane. Slow down or pay up? Well, right now I'm 20 miles under the speed limit, so I would pay up for that as well, I'd wager. Look at that. Not a thing on the billboard, and they still bother to light it up. Morning really does come on so abruptly, but that's sort of realistic, isn't it? Meanwhile, now we're kind of in the rear of this cop here, and it's kind of a nervous situation. I mean, if we rear-end this guy, we are screwed. And by screwed, I mean we get a minor fine that doesn't even begin to stack against the job itself. In real life, you'd have to be way richer for that to happen. Man, this job, like, there are some states and some directions where you can be just cruise control on the interstate, 75 miles an hour for hundreds of miles. But here in North Texas, it's so many smaller roads, it really does require a bit more active thinking. But that's one of the cool things about the design of this game, in capturing all of that, in not just having it be interstate all the way. It captures how different areas have a different feeling. It's actually almost different mechanically to drive in certain states. We can see out over the fields. This is what makes it look so good at night, is the fact that it's so barren. I cross lanes without looking. Wow, that guy really messed up. You guys got a show. I don't understand what happened. Because they always tell you, if there's an accident, put your foot on the gas, but also keep looking at the accident so you can make fun of them. Lights off, because we don't need them anymore. Maybe I should have gotten off at that rest area, but I think we can definitely make it at least another 100 miles. Alright, you know what though? This is not a job that needs to be rushed. I think last time we did this, the job needed to be rushed, so I'm just gonna plop us right here at 72 miles an hour. We don't need to be right on the speed limit all the time. This is plenty fast for a truck. I always love it when you have these expanses, though, where you can actually just see, like, a really far distance away. See all the interesting sights off to the side. You know, for a game where you are supposed to be keeping your eyes on the road, it really is insane the amount of love they put into different sights to see. But they've kind of leaned into that more because, especially as development has gone on, they've added more things like national parks and overlooks. Places where you actually can just kind of stop and goof off. Alright, we're entering a town, so it's probably... yep. Tap the brakes. Yeah, 3 miles an hour, nobody's gonna do anything about this. Although I think I mentioned in the last one, actually, at this rate I have no idea what order these are gonna come out in, but I'm pretty sure, like, different states have different policies for how far over the speed limit you can be before they're supposed to pull you over. Don't rear-end the cop. Might actually be the same guy we've been behind this entire time. That's another thing that this game captures, is like, with the persistence of vehicles, you kinda have road buddies, especially when you turn down the spawn rates. There's a real camaraderie that exists between people who have been next to each other on the road for a long time. Are you going to the same place? Nobody knows. Always sad when you see them depart. You're a cop though, so I really, really want you to depart. Last thing I want is for you to find the Rugrats Lost episode under the seat. So these traffic lights, they're murder, huh? Kind of like the creator of the Rugrats Lost episode murdered his whole family after creating it. But that's nothing you need to look into. I was just bringing it up as trivia. I don't know where the Rugrats Lost episode is. And it's definitely not under any kind of truck seat. I didn't get to read that, but were we watching gas prices literally change live by like 15 cents? Looks like we're gonna be behind this guy for a little while longer. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, come on. Where's that way station? Further up ahead still. I can't do a U-turn here, can I? Looks like I can. Actually, wait, no. In order to do this right, I am actually going to need to check the map and... Oh, that's the wrong button. Keyboard's all the way over there now. Nope, this really is it. I have to do a U-turn. I don't think I've ever had the game tell me to do that before for a way station. Okay, this is gonna be actually kind of tight. Hang on. Guys, good luck. You stop for me, please. Thank you. I really just went for it. I was not gonna play this game. Yep, just stopping highway traffic. Really, I feel like creating this situation is more on the DOT than me. Like a glove. Alright, there we go. I passed your stupid inspection. Not in perfect technical state. It's fine. I've never had them tell me that before either. Okay, so according to this, we should be able to cross the highway again, right? Nobody coming. Can't believe we're doing this twice. Yeah, careful sign. Just made it. So satisfying. Yes. Sorry for whoever may be caught behind me. Nobody? Which means nobody saw anything. And that cop is miles away by now. I'm gonna render this video and look at the final product, and all you're gonna be able to hear is just like me in the background and just the grinding sound of this steering wheel. I mean, it's not that bad. It definitely isn't distracting to me, but like this wheel is directly under the mic right now. And besides, the preset that I use on my audio includes a bass boost. But anyway, we have officially made it into daylight. Such a disorienting feeling. I mean, to come out of night and still have to do stuff by the light of the day, especially when you're traveling well into the day. But it just means we'll be able to pick this thing up again at night, which is how I like it. I made a video on this game a few years ago where I did the modification that eliminated a lot of the traffic, but I also made it so that it uses the longest night of the year as a reference, which means like a pretty much 21-hour night. So you imagine actually being able to feel the G-force from that turn. Just that slight feeling that you're sliding over towards the door. Still, I am pleasantly surprised with how comfortable I've gotten with this so quickly. There's that rest area that probably could have had a way station of its own, you know, so that I don't have to do a U-turn across traffic. But, you know, hindsight is 20/20. I mean, you know, when they design these highways, it's all by the seat of their pants. Nobody knows where it's going to go next. You think you're making a left turn to the grocery store, and next thing you know, you're in Siberia. Oddly enough, I can kind of feel the Texas heat, you know? Like, I almost can't imagine, or maybe it would benefit me to imagine AC in the truck. But, like, I look around at this, and I just feel like that kind of drowsiness. You know when you're just baking in the sun and it makes you kind of sleepy? That's what I'm getting from this. I mean, look, traffic's going pretty steady. I could probably manage a quick nap, right? $242 miles. We're actually very, very close, and under ordinary circumstances, I would be tempted to try and make it without sleeping. But there's a realism in this. It's not a rush job. We don't actually have any obligation to make it there in that length of time, and we were definitely expected to sleep at some point during this 12-hour drive. Let's slow it down a bit, because you're going a bit slower than me, because of the guy up there going a bit slower than you. What are we doing here? What's going on? Really glad that guy wasn't coming up behind me. I don't know if he was always in the left lane, or if he had to move to avoid me. I wasn't looking in my mirror. Look at that, we've got the Eustace Bag farm truck. It's a little different in appearance, but it's the same kind of thing. I love how there's like such a nice variety of cars on the road now too, because when I first started playing this, there were like 3 different cars. And that's the cool thing about these simulations, is that between this and Euro Truck Simulator, there's something that has just been upgraded over time. They very easily could have released a sequel. I mean, Euro Truck is like 12, 13 years old at this point. But because they're the same engine, because all of these things can actually work off of each other, they're just 2 different areas of the world that have piggybacked off of each other. When one gets a major update, the other follows suit shortly after. And that's kind of allowed both of these games to sort of survive and thrive for all these years. Man, now I'm realizing I've got to play Euro Truck again. It's been such a long time. I probably haven't played that since before this game released. But Euro Truck is a big deal in the gaming world, because simulators are very popular now. Prior to this, like, in the era when that came out, they were just thought of as, like, these weird niche, like, German things. The joke was always that Germany makes all the simulator games where it's just, you know, boring, going to work. How is this a video game? Who buys these? But Euro Truck Simulator not only had this really nice trucking simulation, but it added those job mechanics. It added the business sim part, and I think that really helped to draw a lot of people in. And I mean, you can't credit it to anything else. The genre exploded shortly thereafter, and it's been going strong ever since. Yep. Wait, do I have a green light or not? I didn't see if it changed. Is that just the right turn signal? Ah well, we're going forward. This time, let's try stopping at the line. That's a good trick. We're in a city right now. I don't even know what city this is. I was not really paying attention to that. I've just kind of been going where the lines tell me. Oh, wait, no, I know where we are. Because we actually drove through here and did the sightseeing thing when we came in. Are you two different things? No, you seem to be... Okay, so that is actually our light. Here we go. But we are getting to the point where we're definitely going to start having to look for gas and a place to sleep. Kind of surprising that there's no such thing as a hotel in this town, but then again, like, to this game's credit, it's also acknowledging the fact that not everywhere can accommodate a whole truck, you know? I mean, we can't just pull into any regular gas station or hotel. Let's give it a little bit of gas, because we're going to lose this speed going uphill. See, this really is a game where the American economy is booming, because just about everybody is either building a house or working on maintaining or upgrading their house. Do you still have to signal if the other part of the road that you would be staying on doesn't exist? Once more, these invisible walls, ever since they showed up, they've really gotten this country in a frenzy. Nobody knows what to do. The roads are even more chaotic than they always were. You know what's a game this really makes me think of? Gun. It was this really cool Western epic back in the PS2 days. It actually had Thomas Jane as the voice of the protagonist, who was... you probably know him from something. He played the Punisher in the 2004 one. And that game was really cool because you were... It wasn't just like one story. You were playing with all kinds of different people. There were like whole storylines over the course of the game, and there were so many different like locations and biomes. It was a really cool open world thing for the time. It was almost like the proto Red Dead Redemption 2 in a way. Or I suppose just the proto Red Dead Redemption, since that was also open world. I haven't played that one yet. I do own it. Maybe I'll do Undead Nightmare or something on the channel. But once again, I digress. The point is, I've always, like, kind of internalized how that game looked and the transition between the different biomes, and I always think it's really cool when I'm driving in this game, and I sort of see that in the landscape rolling by. Because it makes me think, like, wow, these are those same places, but look how much we built up around it. All across these lanes. Whee! And this time, it's simply more convenient to be in this lane, so screw everyone behind me. I'll be honest, we're getting closer to our destination, and I've kinda stopped caring just a little bit. And besides, if nobody's decided to enforce traffic laws on me yet, it kinda seems up in the air if they ever will. I don't know what that sound was. Wow, one of our drivers just made $17,500 on a job. Definitely out there earning her pay. Yeah, we've got to expand this business. I mean, just last time I made enough money to grow the garage, so now we've got to buy a couple of new trucks and hire new drivers. And that's like the real appeal of this game, is that sure, you're spending your time driving on the road, just kind of happily relaxing along, but in the background, you're always growing. It's almost like an idler in that way. There's a satisfaction in just the simple number go up. Oh, I see what was happening. It was the cruise control trying to keep up. For some reason, I've always found that really satisfying in this game. When you've got the cruise control on, you're in a space where it doesn't really need to give it any gas, but then you detect the slight incline when you just hear a low, low buzz, giving it just a little bit. Okay, yeah, it's definitely time for us to pull it. Hey, why should I wait? Paying off our loans little by little. That was the wrong button. You know, I've actually done that once. One time I was pulling into a gas station and I was like, oh man, this was back when they let you just use like the regular gas stations. And I was like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to fit in here and still pull this thing out. So I detached the trailer in the parking lot and went in and gassed up. Wouldn't you know it, I left without the trailer. Thankfully it wasn't the NASA load from before. That would have been embarrassing. You get back, it's gone. You know that thing's halfway to China by now. Or Detroit. Alright, bit of a tough turn, but we can do it. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna end up continuing this thing just how we started it. So let's bring it back here to the lot. Come on. I braked too much. And just bring you around town. We want to keep this so that the trailer is... there's probably terms for this, but I want to keep this so that the trailer is kind of turning with me so that I don't end up too offset. We're going to have to back in a little. Oh, I see the problem. I'm in drive for some reason. It seems like... I don't know if I'm just doing it the wrong way, but it seems like sometimes it doesn't respond to me changing gears. Granted, I'm not using a shifter, I'm just kinda, like, using buttons on the wheel. We are really getting tired now. There we go. There we go. Oh, just need to pull up a little bit. And we're good. Perfect. I guess we're not good. Right. Now we are good. There we go. Look at that. 10:30 p.m. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Look how ghostly that water tower looks illuminated from below. All the lights of the gas station coming on at once. And the warm lighting of the silos across the street. Honestly, one of the biggest things I can't stand about this game, and maybe it's been changed now, maybe there's plans to change it, is the fact that you can get a sleeper cab, but you can't sleep in the sleeper cab. You should be able to pull over anywhere. You should have a view where you, like, shift into the back, at least a little scene when you do this. Because otherwise, what's the point? And I really do feel like, you know, sleeping in a vehicle, when there's some comfort, is really comfy. But, alright, time to hit the road. I really feel like taking a break now, honestly, but we're so close, we might as well keep it going. And yes, I get that the idea is probably supposed to be that was the wrong pedal. The idea is probably supposed to be that we're staying in the hotel. But come on, sleeper cab. Let us sleep on the side of any road we want. Anybody off to my right there? No. I just don't want to move over to the right lane and find that there's somebody camping out right beside me. That's about to change, which means this is probably about to change. Nope. Although we can make a left if we so choose. Now, I don't know how it is around here, or if this game actually simulates it, but I'm pretty sure in most places, especially the built-up areas, there's supposed to be pressure sensors in the ground, so that it kind of like directs traffic based on need. Either that's a thing, or people have been pranking me my whole life. Some places, like, compared to where I am, it feels like there is that here and there isn't elsewhere. Seriously, do you know what does more for me than any speeding laws could ever hope to accomplish? The fact that it displays that I'm speeding in red as I get a couple miles an hour over the limit. Like, I wouldn't care at all if it weren't for that. But instead, it has me driving like I'm on my way to church on Sunday. I wonder if actual cars do that. Like, now that a lot of the time the speed is a digital display under the steering wheel, I wonder if it does actually start to, like, slowly fade when you're getting up there. But then again, I don't think that's a thing in real life. I don't think it does what this does, where it knows the speed limit in an area and kind of directs you accordingly. If that's not a thing, it probably should be. Once more into the night. With 113 miles left, hopefully this is most of the remainder of our journey. 2-hour drive for our driver, really nothing much for us. Every once in a while, we can actually see the moonlight reflecting off of some white structures in the middle of this place. I don't know if that's a water tower or something else, but it's certainly ghostly standing out there in the field. I braked a little too late, so that got a little exciting. But we're doing it. We're feeling it out. Look at that. They've even got, like, murals on the walls and stuff. Like, you don't need this level of detail in just random towns in this game, but here it is. It's got character, you know? And there is actual thought put into stuff like this. Like, even years ago, I noticed that this game, like in California, there's like dispensaries and stuff. That's kind of how they've treated it too in like the dev blogs, because they've really, not only do they actually send people to go to the States to research them, but each thing is kind of like considered its own journey. It's not like they're saying like, okay, we're working on America and we're doing it in these chunks. Like, each state is kind of treated like its own separate art piece that needs to be taken individually. It's really the right attitude, and it's an attitude that's led to it taking 10 years to get the first half of the country. And granted, things were slow at first. They have accelerated up to a point, so hopefully it won't be another 10 years before we get the whole thing. Especially since I heard, at least it was at one point the plan, to expand to include Canada and Mexico as well. Now, that would be really cool. I would love to do, like, Canada driving. Or imagine doing a whole route from, like, Yellowknife all the way down to the southernmost cities of Mexico. And that would be a real marathon session. That would be, like, many, many hours of real driving. So, we've got a road buddy. Those back doors and taillights become your face to us. We come to know you through them. We come to value and cherish our friendship. You may not even know we're here, but well, the camaraderie still exists. That's what's so cool about Truckers MP, which I'm pretty sure it is actually just baked into the game now. I think it just has multiplayer. And that's really cool. Before it used to be the realm of mods. And just talking to people through a CB, forming a convoy. I don't know, it's just one of those ways you make the grind a little more interesting. It's like I always describe, the kind of thing that I really enjoy doing with friends, which is, it's being alone together. I really like it when you can hang out with, like, 3 different people, each on 3 different corners of the room doing their own things, and just kind of enjoying each other's company. We could brake, or we could just kind of let the speed run out on our own. I mean, until we crash into our road buddy, everything is good, right? Actually, we're only 40 miles from our destination. We're basically there. Funny how this game works, huh? Well, road buddy, I don't know where you're going, but unfortunately it seems we'll have to depart each other's company soon. Just know that I'll always remember this until I pull into that lot, and then I'll find a new road buddy. Such is life. It just makes me sad that you don't know I'm here, and you'd probably... Yeah, no, I can see the curve there. You don't have a road buddy in front of you. But you can definitely see me in your side view mirror now, so know that you are protected out here. And that you would have had a witness to claim Bigfoot if the body was too mangled to actually identify. Of course, if somebody does back you up, it's understood that you'll split the money with them. But that's just trucker law. The unwritten laws of the road. Etiquette. You know, perhaps you won't actually hear the steering wheel too much through this, because I've been making very, very slight turns all throughout this. Then again, I guess that's just indicative of good road design. I mean, ideally it's not supposed to be exciting. The design is supposed to prevent accidents, which is why it's really baffling that in some places it just doesn't. Like, the actual official city planning just is designed to optimize death. Hey there, road buddy. Trucker brother. To use an old internet reference. I'm actually probably going to have to get in behind you here, because I'm going to be making a left turn. Yeah, wow, maintaining speed like that, this is surprisingly stressful on the leg. Granted, my pedals are a little bit offset out of necessity. Okay, we're gonna have to worm our way around here. Oh, the gang has all arrived. I wonder if... Do trucks in this game actually have potential to be delivering to the same lot as you? No, bus. Your time will come. Actually, wait, your time's coming first. What? Oh yeah, right turn gets to go first. I mean, at least it's not like New Jersey, where the law of the land is no left turns for any reason ever. In New Jersey, your car won't even let you turn left. The steering wheel just locks up if you try it. Okay, and immediately swing into that right. I acted like that was going to be hard. It actually was not as hard as I expected. There we go. The image of desert illuminated by headlights behind a guardrail, I don't know, that's... To me, that's just pure creepy America, you know? The kind of thing that you would listen to Art Bell while observing. Gotta imagine a guy like that is really popular with late-night road trippers, huh? There it is. Here's where it all goes. It's home. That was a bit sharp, but leave me alone, I'm excited. I don't think I'm going to try and go for the more advanced parking here. This place looks pretty tight and perilous. Where would you... We have a long straight path before that. We can do it. Oops. Hang on, I really should have done this a little differently. Right. There we go, that's what we needed. This wheel offers so much resistance, I often forget that I can turn it that far preemptively. Hey, I remember the word that time. See, confidence level skyrocketing. Okay, so maybe forget this. I could try to get in... Oh my god. Oh my god, there had to be one last boss fight. That should be enough space now, I think. Okay, there we go. That's good enough for us. But is it good enough for the load? I don't know if it is. It isn't. Look, gotta make sure we don't overdo this, but... we hit it a little bit. I kind of just need to drag it out. It looks like that was so slight that it's still okay. If you hear a grinding noise, it's not me. Alright, we made it. And even still, it considers the trailer to be a separate thing from the load. So we should be more than okay. Here we are. It's already going to be nice and straight. There we go. Alright, we made it. 2 jobs, about 1,000 miles, and made a whole bunch of money in the process. Looks good. So, that was American Truck Simulator once again. I really hope you at least found me somewhat entertaining as a road trip companion. There's that moon again to see us off. And I don't know, it's kind of making me a little bit less freaked out about the whole thing, which was really the whole purpose. And, it was also a lot more fun. It adds a lot more joy to a simulator when actually doing the task, is actually fun to do. You're not just pressing buttons to get the desired result, you're doing the thing, and, well, honestly, I don't even know how I put so many hours into this without wanting that. But if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Good night, Moon.